Welcome to Lightning Intro to Coding. My name's Dennis and I'm a software engineer at the Graphite lab. This video series is meant to get you familiar with coding as a concept in general, but more specifically in terms of web development and in as little time as possible. So this full course of 8 videos should only take you about 30 minutes to get through. Given the speed that we're going through this course and the amount of topics that we have to cover, we're only going to be focusing on learning each topic about 20% of the way, because this small amount of knowledge is going to take you a far way in terms of actually applying it to coding and web development. We'll cover some new and modern coding concepts rather than starting with outdated and tedious basics as well. And we'll cover all parts of what makes an application tick, the things that you see and the things that you don't. So let's dive right in with what programming and web development actually are. Programming is the process of creating instructions that tell a computer how to perform tasks. This is what you use programming languages for, because it's something that computers can understand. Web development is one specific branch of programming, and it's focused on creating websites and applications for the internet. It's divided into two main areas, which are the front end, which are the visual elements of a website that users actually interact with, and is known as the client side. So this is everything that you actually see. And the backend, which are the behind-the-scenes operations that process data and handle the logic of a web application, which is also known as the server side. And this is what I refer to as what you can't see. And that's it for the background knowledge you need to go into this course. Now we're going to go into the technologies that we'll be using in a nutshell, and each of these will have its own short tutorial in the future, so we're going to gloss over them as quickly as possible here. First up, we have VSCode, or Visual Studio Code is the full name, and this is where you're actually going to be writing your code. It's what's known as an IDE. Building up from that, we're going to dive into HTML, which are the basic building blocks of the internet, and they're used to create static web pages. After that, we're going to learn a bit about CSS, which is what you use to style your pages and make your HTML look however you want it to. After that, we're going to dive into our programming language of choice, which is JavaScript, and that will help us add interactivity to the pages that we created with HTML and CSS. Then we'll learn a bit about Node.js, which you can think of as the backend portion or the server side of your website using JavaScript. Then we'll touch on React, which is a popular front-end framework for JavaScript, and it combines everything that you learned up to that point in the course. Lastly, we're going to learn about Git, which is a way for you to track, version, and collaborate on your code. And that's it for what's to come. You can expect one video on a technology coming every Tuesday. And moving forward, I recommend that you code along with the tutorials, you try messing around with what you learn in ways that are interesting to you, and dive more into the specifics of what we cover. For the things that we don't cover, I recommend you check out other tutorials or let us know in the comments if you'd like to see anything added to the course. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week when we cover VS Code.